One.
It's always important to be well lit.
I know.
Right? Or just lit in general. It's fun times. Right?
Can tell it's humid in New York State, can't you?
Oh, everyone's feeling a little bit fuzzy.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
It's me.
It is. It's always on. We are always on. There is always something happening. Hello, Twitter/X.
Hello.
How are you? I want to know who's watching on Twitter because you
I don't
do it a
know.
lot. So thank you. I don't think their comments show up in the feed, but
Yeah, I don't think they do either. But are they
I'd like to know
commenting?
who you are. I'd like to know who you
Oh,
are.
I didn't think it showed up on there anymore.
It does. It's been crazy. It's been, yeah, well, when it works, but that's life. Welcome to Uncensored Radio. You see our live for another week. We are here, but it's an awesome threesome of loveliness and beauty, brains, and
An
bitchiness. We're here. That's all we have to say. We're here. We're ready to discuss. I'm here. We're ready to discuss things.
We
and
are
talk
ready to
about it all,
discuss.
and make.
I have
make
the
everyone's-
feelings and the opinions.
Yes, we do. What would we do without feelings and opinions?
don't know.
You're down the bottom, so you've got to go first today, Vera. How are you?
How do I always end up bottoming these days?
Who knows?
I don't know. How's everybody? I'm good. Let's see what's going on. I got my hair cut, but it looks like a frizz bop.
Bop.
First full week of work for a while. What else?
Why is it the
What
first full week in a
else?
while?
Because I went to the Bruce concert and I took a day off to get my dental work done, and I took a day off to do something else stupid. I don't remember what I did.
Do something else stupid.
I did do something else stupid. I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
But
dear.
I did drag my jacket, my spring jacket, around all day yesterday when it was 80, and today when it was 60, it was on the couch while I was out running around. Welcome to my world.
So it's getting warmer over there.
It is. I got my Daisy shirt on. It's springtime.
Daisy. Well,
Daisy.
it's starting to get cooler here. I'm like, oh, it's like, no, I don't enjoy it.
At being the first full week of work, I haven't gone to see Jeffrey this week.
Oh,
that's
no subs for you.
Yes,
No
on my
subs
days
for you.
off, I usually stop down and see Jeffrey at the shop.
It's the only time I see her.
I know.
Oh, you got visitation rights. That's cute.
It's the only time I see anybody.
I have to stalk him at his place of employment.
Be like, turkey's a little dry.
I always get the salad. Me,
Hello, hey.
Me and Tim Lattimore, we get the
watching.
salad.
The salads are rolling in. That's cute. Speaking of Mr. Salad, Mr. Sandwich, Mr. Everything, how are you, Jeffy?
Oh my god.
You look well.
Yeah, it's because they have that thing on here where you can filter the shit out of your face.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Oh, you do. You just don't have it on. That's all.
No, I looked for it.
Oh, maybe it's just on a computer.
I think it is. I don't think it's on my iPad.
So yeah, I'm making that. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Yeah, we have
busy boy.
We're training new people in both stores. We did an interview for the local paper out here, and they came and took pictures, and I was not happy. And then we've got to do this interview, right? And tell this story, and I'm like, oh dear God. So we can either behave or I can be me.
I
What do you think I did?
think you chose the latter.
I sure did. So I'm swearing and I'm just saying all kinds of crazy things that clearly this guy can't write.
Is it Wilcox?
No, it was not, right? Because I know him. We've gone round and round and round and round. Like he actually did an article about this show when it first started, and Karen was on, and some other local folks, and he got a ton of stuff wrong, and I gave him so much shit about it. So him and I have a very long history. So I thought it, if it was him, it would have been one thing, but no, it was somebody else, and I'm very curious, but it was like, here's my email. I'm gonna need you to send that to me.
You need the proofs.
And Candy's like, oh yeah, so you can send him revisions. I'm like, you bitch. Like, you don't need to like let him know that I'm an asshole. He's gonna find that out on his own, Same thing with like the photographer. I'm gonna need to see those beforehand.
Did you not give away your hand prior to that moment? Because you do come off strongly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like the
I say
Mariah
it with
of
love.
local media.
Well, I wanted him to. I mean, I was trying to get him to laugh and like have a good time because I wanted him to realize, too, when people come in, that's kind of the vibe and the atmosphere I want people to have, right? Where it's a little kind of borderline, a little edgy, but I mean, it is, right? I mean, it depends. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that with everybody, but usually when there's a crowd, there's a rush. You know what I mean? We usually have a lot of construction workers in there. So, you know what I mean?
They usually are watching the shenanigans, but not sure what to make of them when I go in.
They usually have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they've become regulars, and they come in and they're like, hey, can I try this or this? Or, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of customization going on. And then people will come in and they're like, what the hell is that? And they're like, oh, can I, and then, so things have started off that way. And we've kind of built this like weird hidden menu in the one store. And so it's become a lot of fun,
That's what you can do when you're not part of a corporation.
Oh,
right?
I'm gonna have to try the hidden menu. I just go out of the freezer or the refrigerator.
Yeah, but even that's different, like that's not something that we ever had before.
Just do what Jeff does to me when I was there. Eat this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we have people like the employees are like, this guy called saying he left his number. He's waiting for your sauce. I mean, so it's things that it makes you feel
it's
good.
Personal.
That people are enjoying. Yeah. And I want people to leave and have a good time. Like if I can't be on stage right now, I figure why not try to just hopefully people will leave. They'll enjoy what the hell they're eating. And maybe they'll leave having a smile and their day will be a little better. Like I don't think
they do appear to enjoy the show when I've been there.
I think so. I think for the most part, and I think maybe some people will be. I mean, there was one, like Google review or something that like Candy and her son are assholes. and I'm like,
are you the son?
Oh, I'm like, and I'm like, Candy, they have to be talking about us because I'll say like when her and I were working together, like, oh, I'm the son she never wanted. And usually we're, I'm like, keep it up. I'm going to send you back to Shady Pines. Like, oh, they just let me out of the booby hatch or whatever. And she's like, will you take him with you, please? Like we're just.
You got some patter, get some banter. That's happening.
Yeah, it's banter. It's all banter,
yes. It's all banter. It's all good. Anything to brighten people's day, right?
That's right.
That's why we're here. We're here.
Well, now you and Candy aren't in the same store anymore, right?
No, we haven't been. So that's kind of a bummer because it's, fun when we're together. I mean, but, trying to get the new people, I don't know if she's being successful out where she is, but I'm trying to get these guys going, We're different ones, though. These guys are, they like to call a lot in there. I can't, we're out of this. First thing in the cooler, fool.
Yeah, so
I'm
get
gonna get them all T-shirts that say Team Keller.
it. Helen. Water, Helen. Water, Helen.
Just like, guys, come on. What are we doing? You're killing me.
It's not just you. It's the generation because
No, so
I have this.
we're gonna start.
I have the same thing at work.
Most days, like I'll go and I'll buy everybody coffee, right? What the hell? It's not a lot of perks.
You're the boss.
So,
Nice.
right.
Yeah.
So I'll buy coffee. But I think I'm gonna start a thing like whoever is the one that doesn't see the thing, they have to buy the damn coffee.
Watch him get real observant real quick.
yeah, right. See,
I do have a story.
Ooh.
2 weeks ago was Administrative Professionals Day. And the therapist at work is like, oh my God, we missed Administrative Professionals Day. Oh my God, we got to take here's a GoFundMe. Let's get a collection for the support staff. We got to get them something for Administration Professionals Day, right?
GoFundMe.
So we took a big collection. Everybody got a gift card and they got some candy and they got, a really nice gift. And there's 8 of them. 2 nurses, Nursing Appreciation Week. Not even a fucking email.
When's Nursing Appreciation Week? Oh my God, it was May 6th, right?
May 6th was Nursing Day, and this is Nursing Appreciation Week. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, you 2 nurses, you come in and lunch is on me, honey.
There you go, babe. You got it.
Thanks, babe.
You got it. You got a free lunch.
But there's only 2 of us, so we can't take our lunch together.
Well, that's okay. One of you can bring it back to the other.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Vera, you can be nominated lunch getter, so you get to go see Jeff.
So I can go see Jeff, and we lean over the counter and we whisper to each other, and
you tell your boss you get extra time because it's Nurse Appreciation Week.
It's all coming together.
You're going to pick up the free food that tell them. Thank you so much for getting me the food from the sub stop.
Yes, I got an email. Thanks. Lunch from the sub stop was delish. Thanks, everybody.
It's very funny. Ever since I've spent some time in your lovely town, my Facebook algorithm has changed dramatically. I get so many Auburn related things on my Facebook page.
Well, it's because you keep coming back. It thinks you're a native.
I think some of that. I know. I'm in and out like no one's business. But that's life. Okay, well. We're trying to brighten everyone's week, so we should.
Well, we got to hear from you, Stephen, since you usually sacrifice your.
Fuck you! You were in a Tesla. You were in the woods.
I was in a Tesla.
You were in Sydney. You had a weekend away.
Blair Witch.
It wasn't away. We were there back in the day. So we went down. We're starting a new tour with the lovely Ghost Grannies at a very historic site. Just on Sydney Harbour. It's a historic National Trust house called Lindsay House. It's never been investigated before. So we went down on Wednesday and had a little look-see, got up nice and early and did a history tour and then had a few hours to kill. We were in Anne's brand new Tesla. She's got a brand new Tesla Y driving around. It's got a refrigerator in the trunk. It's very exciting.
Wow. Too bad it's owned by Elon Musk.
Driving in comfort, and we went and did our tour, and then we had I think 7 hours to kill. So we went and had yum cha, which I've never done before. It was a very sensory experience with food flying around, and then
excuse me, how big is the fridge?
In the trunk.
In the trunk, probably
not big.
Not huge, but it's probably the size of a usual cooler, like a cooler.
So how many wine bottles could you put in it?
I reckon you could fit at least 6, maybe 8. Yeah. And so we had nothing to do. And so we wandered around the shopping centre for a little while. We went to Cinnabon, which I'd never had before. So
never had a Cinnabon?
Yeah, well, they're not prolific here in Australia. They're only nearly went into a sugar coma from my mini one that I had. I was like, oh God, it's so much sugar. Really passed out. And then we literally had nothing to do. So we drove to beautiful Centennial Park in Sydney, parked the Tesla, turned on Netflix, and everyone fell asleep for about 40 minutes. You
That
know,
sounds like a dream.
and then we went and did the investigation, the first investigation, and came home. So that was Wednesday. It was a very action-packed day.
I hear Tesla naps are the best.
They are, and as you say, I'm in and out of your neck of the woods, and it looks like I'll be back again later this year.
Yay!
Oh God!
Woo-hoo! You're coming to New York, though, right? No, you're going to Salem.
No, I'll be coming. I'm coming. I got like a week free.
All right.
9 days, I think, or something like that.
Are
Nice
they
day.
coming?
They have to be in Salem, but you never know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Send me the dates so we could plan a little New York
I will. I'll
excursion. You could
definitely
come.
look.
No, I'm talking about those bitches.
It's over Anna Renata.
Oh.
It's over Anna Renata.
I thought you were talking about me and Steve.
We'll have to catch up with the ghost bitches. We haven't spoken to them for a little hot minute.
I know, right? They
have
need
a
to come
chat.
on and chat.
I'll organise that soon,
Girls.
shall I?
Ghost hunters.
The ghostly golden girls, ghost grannies, Anna Renata.
And when
But
are we
yeah,
ever going to
that's-
get K-Bell on?
They're busy. They are busy. They've just
I know,
released
I
their
keep
first
seeing
music
all their
video
stuff.
Did you see her at the Crystal Shop?
at the Swarovski Crystal Shop. Katie's looking fantastic.
Yes, she
She's looking
is.
great. She's a busy lady, but we're all busy ladies. So we're going to talk about this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
So we'll go through. Speaking of busy ladies, look, I as I said, I managed like 2 weeks ago to grab time with Katrina. I was like, we're filming something today, now. It was like, okay, but Jeff, you're gonna have to join us for the second part of that show. It didn't feel right without the trio of goodness. Kat and I did our best. To represent for you, though, as we do. But we're very interested to hear Jeff's opinions and feelings on the topic. But if you
Jeff
haven't watched
has
it yet, go back
feelings.
and watch it. He does. We'll start with the people shuffling in and shuffling out. Had a few deaths this week.
I
Iconic
know.
actor Bernard Hill, who is best known from Game of Thrones and Titanic. I mean, they're two pretty good things to have on your resume.
Yeah.
Has
Fuck him.
passed
He didn't know
away.
how to drive a boat.
Right? Or use a sword. That's okay. This happens. But you know,
Shit
two iconic characters in a career is pretty exciting. It's like, okay.
That is.
This
I'd be happy to
one's
get
purely this one's purely for Australian fans. Brian Wenzel, who played Lieutenant Frank Gilroy on much loved Australian soap opera A Country Practice, passed away this week. That was with his on-screen wife there. And this one is a little bit sad. Susan Buckner, who played Patty Simcox, the bad seed of Rydell High, has passed away as well.
That's
I
I love
sad.
Patty.
I don't know.
Patty Simcox. You know
Rydell
Patty
High?
Simcox.
Fried out
Hi.
high, grease.
Don't you love the first?
I know it was Grease, but I
Don't you love
love
the first day still? It's the most, to say the least. The very least. There we go. But breaking news this morning. The Biebers are having a baby in this weird, like, photo shoot, maternity, Mother
Wedding
Mary
dress.
in lace, wedding dress,
Slash
weirdness.
nighty slash I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
Look,
all
I
the
can't-
reports about him being crazy and them breaking up and her being worried and him like grabbing asses was all
And
bullshit.
having weird teeth and all that kind of thing,
Mhm.
and the
It's
PDD
almost
stuff.
like the paparazzi and news is just out to get money and headlines. Huh, who would have thought?
Oh, who'd have thought?
It's a very well timed pregnancy announcement, though. Right in the middle of all that, speculation about.
Oh yeah,
PDD
because they
and-
planned to get pregnant just because there was news headlines. Stephen.
You don't know how
Come
far.
on.
You don't know. You don't know how
Jesus.
far along. You don't know how far along she is.
Good
They've
Lord.
just released these. If the palace has taught us anything, we can't trust photos anymore, especially
Right.
when they're disseminated by the people who take them.
Yes.
So you never know.
Wasn't there a lot of talk about, speaking of the palace, Harry's in London this week?
Oh,
Talking with
that's
Dad,
never
visiting Dad?
never a good sign, is it? It's never a good sign.
Well, it's the
Harry's in
Invictus
London.
Games.
Someone's dying.
No, it's the
Yeah,
Invictus
true.
Games,
It
which
is
he
true, yes.
founded. So he's
I
there for
like
that.
I don't care. I don't care what anyone has to say. I like Harry. I listened
like
to the.
Harry
I
too.
didn't read. I listened to the book.
He's got a
He's
nice.
I see his point.
He's an okay petunia.
He's my favorite since Diana.
He's a rebel.
He's not afraid to tell it how it is, and I think that that's a problem for them. Obviously,
Yeah.
same with his wife. Like they're just not. They're just not. They're not the ones. So, no. But speaking of no, there was, of course, the iconic and always dramatic Met Gala ball this week. I thought
it was great.
it was quite uninspired, actually.
Oh, Zendaya's outfit?
These
first
are
one?
what they're
This
saying
this
are amongst the best dressed.
the blue peacock outfit that Zendaya's wearing on the outside there is stunning. I really did like Demi Moore's outfit. I thought that Elle Fanning's outfit was stunning. You know, the three in the middle I could do without, but Kerry Washington ended up on a couple of worse dress too this week.
Yeah,
I did like hers. There was a lot of velvet too for a spring event.
There was. I just didn't think there was a wow moment. Like, you know how there's usually somebody like, oh wow. Like, ironically, yes. the wow moment was Katy Perry, who wasn't even there. It was an AI thing. Yeah. It was like, Katy Perry looks amazing. It's because it's not real.
Usually though, the last 3 years it's been Blake Lively, and she didn't attend this year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that it? The one dress that stood out to me that I was like, oh, that's cool, was Tyler's sand dress, which is and she had her little matching globe.
Yeah, I thought Tyler's sand dress was pretty cool. I also loved I can't remember who wore it, but it was Loewe was the designer, and the bodice was made out of wood. It didn't look comfortable at all, but it looked stunning.
But like as always with this event, like this is famously where Kim Kardashian ruined Marilyn's dress, etc. Tyler couldn't get up the stairs in her dress, so they had to cut it off
they
her.
Carry her. No, they carried her upstairs, and then they cut her out.
Once they got her up at the top of the stairs, they cut that dress. I'm like, what?
Well, the designer cut it. It wasn't.
I know, but still, you cut that dress. Wouldn't you have designed it so it could be detachable?
You would think. You know who couldn't get up the stairs and nobody was really willing to help her? Lizzo.
Lizzo. I think Lizzo might have soured the public at the moment because she's like,
she hasn't recovered yet.
I don't think that brand's recovering, is it?
It's not.
She's like, I better be on the best dress list. I'm like,
I thought she looked lovely. I'm not dissing Lizzo, but I did notice that nobody was helping her up the stairs where they were lifting Tyler up.
And then the mess, the men were pretty uninspired as per usual.
Yeah, no, I got to go with Jonathan Bailey. I thought Jonathan Bailey's Loewe tux was gorgeous.
I like Dan Levy's. Dan Levy looks nice with
Jeff's future husband looks good.
Jeff's, yes. Jeffrey's husband.
Danny boy.
But I'm just like, there are so many creative types and whatnot. Younger people that aren't afraid usually to take a fashion risk. It was maybe it was the theme. Maybe it was
a pretty staid theme, the Garden of Time. I mean, other themes have been a little bit, more, what's the word I'm looking for?
inspired.
Shocking, inspiring.
Yeah, more
yeah.
inspired, more something. It was just
Yeah.
very blur.
There was
The most exciting
the
thing to
one
come out of
dress
it
that
was
had like pocket watches all over it. I don't remember who wore that one. That was
the most exciting thing to come out of it was Ariana Grande.
What'd she wear?
Did you see it? No, she was
just
like
wearing
dressed as like she performed, but she was dressed as like a wood nymph and like had a glove that looked like it had been painted on her, and her and Cynthia Erivo sang "When You Believe."
The bodice of her dress was all alabaster, mother of pearl.
Yeah, she sang her little patootie off.
She's a talented singer. I will.
She's
you know.
I think this is the start of the
the press tour for
we're gonna well they're both there together, they're both singing. It's like, okay, we're gonna see these two together a lot for the next 18 months. It's gonna be a long ride.
Is it 18 months? I thought it was coming out in November.
So it's 2 parts. Wicked's 2 parts. They've split it into 2 movies.
I thought it was coming out in November.
I thought it was Christmas, wasn't it?
Well, doesn't Christmas start November? Thanksgiving?
I thought it was like the boxing, the Christmas movie. You know, like how they used to do those.
Yes, they do that. Yes, it's where I saw Les
big
Mis
blockbuster on Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was what that was happening there, but I could be incorrect. It's just like, oh dear. But that's going to be a monster.
1 week till Bridgerton 3. That's only me. I know. I'm the only one who loves Bridgerton.
You think that movie's gonna actually do well?
The Wicked
I
movie?
think it'll do. Yeah. I think it'll do well. The first one will.
Yeah.
Because people will want to see it, to see what they've done to the musical.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, the first one will do well.
Go to see those movies again and again and again. You know, the box office for Les Mis hasn't stopped because theater nerds keep watching it.
So I can complain about it.
But didn't the last Oz movie tank?
Huh?
Didn't the last Oz movie tank?
Yeah, but it was nothing. That wasn't on a known property. This is on a much loved musical.
Right. It was like a reboot
and it was like a prequel weirdness, like based on
James
some random
Franco
books.
Right on the edge of his creepdom.
Yeah, but this especially with Ariana Grande. Let's look at it. It's got Ariana Grande and the guy that she, that whole apparent relationship that was destroyed by them dating. And
who
they're both
Sierra?
in the movie together.
Oh, I gotta look that up. I don't even know who it is.
So there's a lot of drama in there. People, are gonna have their opinions, as they do. But you gotta not be afraid of people's opinions, because that's how you become a living legend. And whether you like it or not, the Queen of Pop proved that she is still the Queen recently. Ladies and gentlemen, Madonna. For those of us that don't know, that didn't hear about it, performed the final show of her celebration tour at Rio de Janeiro on Copacabana Beach, where an estimated 1.6 million people were in attendance. I watched it on a live stream. My God, that's a lot of people.
Amazing.
It was awesome. Like, say what you will about Madonna, and we've had this conversation about, her output and trend chasing and reinvention and da-da-da-da-da-da. To be able to stand on stage in front of 1.6 million, I know it was a free concert. Everyone's going, it's a free concert. Of course people showed up. But to be able to stand in front of 1.6 million people and perform songs from your 40-year career is pretty impressive.
This says Jonathan Bailey's playing Fiyero.
Yeah, but that guy that she stole is in that movie as well. They're in the movie together. Yeah.
All right.
1.6 million people, 40 years of hits. I think that no matter what you think of Madonna, I think that's impressive, man. Like,
yeah.
That's a strong. Yeah.
I think if there are other acts that could draw as many people.
1.6 million people.
For
free?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go. I know that's. I know, like, I'm like, that's too many people.
I would think that's too many people
Oh,
too.
That's
That's
too
COVID
many
and
people.
Hmm?
That's COVID and regret.
Well, at least you're at the beach.
There
and you
was
I feel like the
40,000
concert,
at Bruce.
I feel like her concert just started and it's already over. It went by very quick.
Yes, it was a
It
very
was-
short tour.
It was
Whereas
it was
Taylor Swift has been on
epic.
tour for 700 years.
Yeah, and she's gonna keep touring for
I
700
know.
years.
She's like,
She
she's
goes,
in Paris tonight.
She's the new Madonna.
She is.
Whether we like it or not, she's the new Madonna. She gotta reinvent herself every 5 minutes and come for your money.
Well, the last
More
album
power
was
to-
bleh.
Oh, it's
Oh, I
very
love
interesting.
Taylor.
I think Tortured Poets Society was very much for her fan base. It wasn't for the general public because it's all about her
Really? I thought
relationship.
Tortured Poets Department was great. But I
I
liked
liked it.
I liked the songs that nobody else liked. I liked Exile. I thought Exile was a great
Ooh.
song.
Well, we all have different tastes in music, and different artists have different tastes in
Well, that's
who
just-
they like in their audience.
Give me the eyes.
Doja Cat, who showed up at the Met Gala in a wet t-shirt.
I thought
has
Doja
smart-
Cat looked great. I thought her makeup
did.
was great. I loved it.
She did. She has had a little bit of controversy this week when she took to Twitter to admonish parents for bringing children to her show.
I
Yeah,
feel like we've had this discussion a lot lately.
I know, and that's why I want to have it today, because it's interesting now that artists like Doja Cat, who is obviously not aiming their music at children, feel like they need to speak out. So this is what she tweeted. I don't know who the fuck I don't know who the fuck you think this is, but I don't make music for children, so leave your kids at home, motherfucker. An unprovoked rant continued saying, I'm rapping about cum. Why are you bringing your offspring to my show? And in a follow-up tweet, she then referred to children as mistakes. I'm rapping about eating dick and pissing on his V-cut. Leave your mistake at home. Look, she's not incorrect.
She is not incorrect.
Did people get mad?
Yes,
Yeah.
people got mad. People fucking suck.
People are upset that she called their children mistakes.
Oh, fuck off. Your kid was a mistake. You should have swallowed, you ugly bitch.
What was somebody called your cum goblin? I heard
Yeah.
somebody refer to
Crotch
children as
goblin.
crotch
Yeah,
goblin. Yeah.
There's lots of-
God.
But
Oh,
this
one of
is
my
a-
good friends that became our neighbor in Missouri, she always called the boys my crotch goblins, and I was like,
Not my
You're not
crotch.
incorrect. Not my crotch. But look,
Listen, when my
it's-
friends call and say they're pregnant, I send them sympathy cards. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if one of my
let's
friends'
find the
parents dies, do you send a sympathy card or congratulations?
Well, you said the cake.
Who?
I love the cake. With love.
Love. But now
Finish it
artists are
one thing,
getting
it's a
involved.
smother.
Now that artists are getting involved, I think that parents really have to take into account that, children aren't welcome everywhere.
Well, I also think a part of this is the parent doesn't want to miss out and they don't have childcare, so they're just going to bring their kid in tough shit. Whether the kid's gone a little partially deaf or
How old
heard
is the
words,
kid?
they don't know. I don't know.
Don't know. Well, there must have been a couple for her to mention it. You know what I mean?
Right. It wasn't just one kid.
Obviously, it
mean,
wasn't one child.
I can't remember who I was just talking to. It had to have been somebody around my age because I think we were talking about, when we were kids, the things we would do, we'd be off on our bikes in middle school. And the shit we would watch and the hijinks we would get up into. So I think to go hear a concert like that at 12 in our time, would we have
That's a
thought
big
anything
thing.
of it?
When I was 12, my sister, her best friend, and I took the bus to Syracuse for the state fair to see the Beach Boys, all by ourselves,
Oh.
no adult. Stayed for the whole concert, got back on the bus, came home at 11, walked home
Right.
from the bus stop on a warm summer night.
I don't know that it would have been a thing. I mean,
Right.
now, are we talking about a 6-year-old?
Of course, the
I
Beach
think
Boys
a lot of
didn't
it-
sing about peeing on the
Pussy.
V-cut.
Right, but I mean,
A
it's
lot of it is
also,
also, yeah.
what do you do in today's world, right? I mean, that's kind of music. How
Right.
do you? I don't even know how to do it with my kids, right? Because it's all over YouTube. It's everywhere. People are listening to it. What do you do? Hey, can you not play that music? What am I?
And it comes down to a lot of, I think it's a mixed messaging of parents going, my child, I have to protect my child, oh my God, my poor innocent child, don't let them see things, don't let them hear things, don't let anything touch them, but you're going to take them to a rap show.
Right.
like when she's talking about calm.
I'm not down with taking a little kid. You know what I mean? But I think
Especially
A 12-year-old
yours.
is different.
Especially yours, because he picks up stuff like that.
I mean, I'm personally not going to take my 12-year-old just because I don't want to.
I don't want to deal with that.
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I mean, I don't want to sit there and listen to a song that's talking about swallowing somebody's dick with my 12-year-old.
Right. Right.
Daddy does this in his own time, is his own business.
That's right, right. Yeah, it's like, hi, Daddy's swallowing dick and getting cum on the face. Like, hi, how are you? It's a good
Hi,
time,
how are you? Hi, how are you?
Like, no, let's not.
Oh, no.
That's when you just cover his ears and think, hey, listen, it's a little loud right now. I'll uncover your ears when it's
Let's sing happy birthday.
Oh, dear.
No, I don't think
Jeff,
so.
we lost your face.
Yeah, you are frozen, but that's okay. We can still hear you. We just can't see. You're just frozen and looking down at yourself, but that's okay.
I don't know what's wrong with this
That's okay.
fucking thing.
Who knows? But music, music's supposed to bring us together and be peaceful, unless you're Drake and Kendrick Lamar this week. Now,
Everybody is talking about this.
Look, rap battles are nothing, like rap feuds, rap beefs are nothing new, like,
right.
And they have taken lives before, famously. There's, there's a few. Well, questionable now that
these two aren't going to pull guns.
I just don't know. Well, there was a shooting at Drake's compound. One of his security guards was shot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In Canada?
That's why. Yes.
Canadians don't shoot. Canadians don't
Canada,
shoot.
I know. This is why I did an article on it. I was like, so they've been back and forthing like with allegations of
right
grooming,
and they put out like
pedophilia,
17
secret
songs
children.
in a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Diss tracks, left, right, and center.
Right.
But then
I've been following.
Drake's compound that is pictured on the artwork of Kendrick Lamar's one of the tracks is the house that where this security guard got shot. Now the security guard is fine. He was taken to hospital. The assailant drove away, so they weren't captured. But I just a Canadian involved in a rap battle and there's a shooting. It just doesn't.
There's a shooting. I know how American.
Doesn't. It just. I'm like. I can imagine it. Bang. Sorry. It's just like, no.
My bad.
So sorry.
Kendrick made me do it. Bye.
Sorry about that.
Oopsie.
Oopsie, I did it again. what a good segue, because some things you look, sometimes you apologize for things, and then after you apologize, you come for blood. Now, this one's a little bit close to home. I have spoken to our cast member that appeared on this documentary. This is all again related to Quiet on Set, the dark side of kids' TV, which has, taken the zeitgeist by storm. We are still talking about it. Dan Schneider has now decided to sue the makers of the program for defamation. And when you read into the case and what he is suing them for, he's actually not incorrect. Because the way that the trailer, obviously, we've watched the trailer, we've discussed this ad nauseum. So if you want to know how we feel about it, and especially how Katrina feels about it, we have a show, we have a whole hour dedicated to it. But the trailer is very misleading, and the way that the show is shot is very misleading. There is no evidence.
The way that they booked people was very misleading.
Yeah. The evidence that is presented on the show does not link Dan Schneider to any misconduct with children. Yep. No matter what they might imply, it does not link him to anything with children. The materials that Dan Schneider is accused of is with adult writers on his team, and the behavior that he exhibited on those teams. And yes, behavior towards children, but not in the manner that, of the Drake Bell story, which takes over directly after the Dan Schneider story. And people can't help but associate, because Dan Schneider was, producing, directing the show that Drake starred on. So he's set. And people are making the assumption that, because he was in control of the show, he knew everything about it. And that's not how that kind of behavior works. If you listen to the show and you watch what Drake Bell says, nobody knew. Nobody knew what was going on. And the first adult who after his girlfriend's mother, that helped him or expressed any kind of, what can I do, was Dan Schneider. So he's not incorrect in his lawsuit. You can say what you want about the man, but legally he's not incorrect.
And they definitely cut it in a way that the people that said there wasn't an issue didn't.
Well, we've been through it. Like, we've been through it, Katrina. Katrina has had her say, and they didn't know exactly. And she's not the only one. There are more and more people coming out about behind the scenes of this documentary.
He has said this stuff for years. This has been, dear God, when did we start this? 2011. So there's hours and hours and hours and hours of this show. You can hear her talking about this.
And the thing is, this is news to the general public.
The thing is that if they paid attention, it's really not, though, because it's not one of those worst kept secrets.
Yeah,
Angelique's talked about it for years. Katrina's talked about it for years.
A lot of the cast
talked about things for years. It hasn't really been a secret. People just didn't want to hear about it,
and it wasn't put in front of them in a prepackaged narrative going, "This is this."
Right.
Which is why the Nick and Aaron Carter one is going to be as problematic, if not more so. Because Aaron's not here to defend himself or to give his 2 cents or to,
the thing with Lance Bass there and the dude that was managing all them, and he
even earlier, Alanis Morissette wrote a whole song about one of the guys in her Nickelodeon show.
The coverage that should have gotten, and it didn't.
Yep, the loophole and stuff. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is crazy.
And retrospectively, it makes you look back and go, well, especially with Jaguar Wright seems to be the one who's coming forward and going blah, and everything she's talked about has come to pass. She said Diddy, and Diddy's in trouble, but she's like, why do you think Michael Jackson was like he was?
Well, and then who was it that just said, "Oh,
Who
well,
didn't
when he
think
was
that?
a
I mean, I
child.
thought that.
crazy."
Yeah.
When
He
he
was
was a
abused as a
child in the
child.
music
He was
industry,
abused.
what do you think happened to that
Yeah,
child?
exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
him being stuck as a perpetual child.
Yeah,
But the horrible things that
exactly.
may have happened to him being
Mm-hmm.
property of the
Sexualized
record
as a
label.
child, his sexual identity formed then,
And like we can't say for sure, but there are
No, but
allegations
there's
that he was
plenty of
he was
rooms.
himself a victim of a
Mhm.
lot of stuff. So
all those kids, the
explains a lot.
whole family. I mean, it's a tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
No matter
course
what
it
way
is.
you cut it, no matter what way you look at that story of that man, no matter what angle, it is horrific.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just I think now that we are in the age of social media and being able to have
Everybody's got a fucking
evidence,
opinion.
but like being able to have
Me
evidence
too.
and people not being scared to step forward because of they don't have there are other avenues than going to the press. You know what I mean?
Well,
This is
Because
this is the
going
problem,
to the
though.
press
Like,
things get covered
but
up.
we're doing a thing, right, where we're supposed to have an opinion, but at the end of the day, like, we have to be open to the realization that it's unknowable for us. All
course
of
it is.
these things are, in fact, unknowable. Like, what happened to Nicole Brown Simpson? Unknowable, right? We can say all we want that we know that he did it, but it is unknowable. What happened to Princess Diana? Unknowable. What happened? All this
somebody
shit.
knows.
Nick, right?
It's
somebody does,
unknowable
but
to us, but somebody
it's
does know.
unknowable. All of these things with 9 unknowable. Everything. It's unknowable
And I really
because we weren't there.
the possibility does still exist that Princess Diana was just an accident.
Absolutely.
course
Right.
it is.
All of those, every conspiracy, all of these things, to all of us that were not there.
Now, there are
It's
conspiracies
unknowable.
that are knowable.
For certain people, but unless there's actual proof.
But isn't that also the beauty of what we do? Is that we can step forward and put our own life, not necessarily into these like Hollywood things. You put your own life experience into things and have an opinion by the information that you get. That's the whole point of being uncensored and going, okay, well, this may not be my life, but I know this, that, and the other.
Well, the whole QAnon experience is based on that unknowable conspiracy theory, but we know that JFK never came back to life and went to Daly Park to name himself as Trump's running mate. We know
Yes,
that didn't
He
happen.
was there.
We
He
know
was there.
Yeah,
we
I mean,
know
obviously
that there
there's a
are not
different-
alien lizards coming down here wearing human skin.
Right. There's a fine line with this too.
There are knowable conspiracies.
Yes.
Is what my point is.
Yes.
There are things we can logic out.
Yes.
We can suspect that there might have been something with Princess Diana, but in all likelihood, it was just an accident.
Well, because there's also we've heard stories of vampires, but do we have proof of vampires? No, right? We also know there's no proof of them.
But you also don't want to believe
where you're talking about like the lizards or whatever, the crazy ass conspiracies of QAnon. Like it works in the opposite effect, right? There's no proof of this shit.
And when it comes down to it, we don't want to believe that horrible things can happen to good people. And
horrible things happen to good people every fucking day.
Every day.
But it's
every
easier
day.
to believe that if the lizard person's responsible for it than that your mother might do something horrible to you.
But sometimes common sense wins out, and it might take some time, but progress is happening? Question mark. The Boy Scouts of America will be changing their name as a move of inclusion, and moving forward, they will be known as Scouting America from next year.
Well,
so
Scouting
Scouting,
Scouting
America.
America.
And they couldn't just be Scouts of America?
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
They had
It's
to be
just what they chose.
scouting?
Well,
Who's
I
the
don't-
fucking
An
genius
active.
that came up with that?
It's an active, sounding thing.
yes, it's a verb.
So yes, this does
Not a
come.
noun.
I
It's a verb.
understand what it is. It's stupid.
This does come with a little bit of progression. You know, they've started to welcome girls and gay youth into the Scouts. It was announced at the annual general meeting on May 7th, and there's been a bit of financial turmoil. Who knew? Dwindling membership numbers and a wave of sexual abuse allegations. So a rebrand is always handy.
Well,
But they're changing the name on the 115th birthday of the organization. So
I do have a little
Progress?
experience with this organization. My brother-in-law
Yeah.
Lee is an Eagle Scout. My nephew Matthias is an Eagle Scout. And when Matthias was in the Eagle Scouts, or when he was in the Scouts, the original Cub Scout leader was arrested for sexual abuse. And when he was in high school and he was in senior scouting, his troop was asked to leave because the Boy Scouts decided to allow gay members to stay enrolled, and the church that sponsored the scout troop kicked them out. So let's see where this progress goes with the number of churches that affiliate themselves with scouting troops.
the reason why I want to bring this up is because I thought that there would be a bigger reaction to this story, and I put that in the comments. I was like, oh, I'm surprised that there wasn't a bigger reaction to this story. And then I got a reaction to my comment. Now, I'm not going to name this person because I'm better than that. But if you go to our page, you're more than happy to go look. The response to my comment, I said, good on Scouting America. I thought there'd be some more reaction. This person says, because nobody cares. The people who didn't want their kids growing up confused and having their mental illnesses catered to are not putting them in Boy Scouts. They're going to better options. To which Uncensored Radio replied, the mental illnesses they got through their genetics? ?
Who said that?
I don't know. Who could have said that? Then we got their response. Mental illnesses come from many origins, but the one that makes girls think they're boys should be worked through and not encouraged. To which Uncensored Radio then replied, some recent studies suggest that gender dysphoria may have biological causes associated with development of gender identity before birth. So the jury's still out on learning to better understand the human experience and make things better for future generations isn't something we should close our minds to.
Who is this schmuck?
I don't know. I'm trying to look it up.
This schmuck, I've looked at their profile picture, is a married white man with 2 young sons.
Oh, I think we're blocked.
Is he a fan of the show?
I don't know, but he felt the need to come to our page and have his say, so that's fine.
Oh well,
you're always welcome to come and have. You're always welcome to come and have your opinion.
Most of the comments are gone. I wonder.
But be ready for a rebuttal.
Oh no, I see him now.
I feel sorry for your children. I would say, I hope one of your children comes out gay, but I wouldn't wish you as a parent.
I don't wish that on that child.
That child doesn't deserve that.
There's going to be a child walking down a pride parade getting a free dad hug and crying their eyes out in public.
I don't know how anyone that is having a child in the modern world can be so closed off to the idea that your child is going to go through something that you haven't gone through, and your job is to help them operate in this world. That's the job of a parent, is to teach and to arm your child with the best armor that they can, so that the big bad modern world isn't going to eat them alive or impact them too negatively. But knowing that that's what those kids are going to soak that message in.
Yeah.
It's like well, Vera, we've seen it in our time. The attitude to different races, the attitude to sexuality, even the attitude to different socioeconomic, people
And
in
the
our
attitude
time
towards
growing up.
gender. The
You know,
attitude towards gender.
all of this stuff. You can't help but be influenced by the environment that you are raised around, and that's either a good thing or a bad thing. You either adopt that or it turns you the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. The things there's always someone that's going to be upset or offended by an organization trying to be more inclusive. I mean, they obviously weren't complaining about molestation, stuff like that, but God forbid that there be a trans child or, a child that's
the point.
sexuality.
That's the point where the scouting troop was kicked out of the church. It was probably, Matthias 24, was probably almost 10 years ago now. And there were somewhere, not in Auburn, but somewhere in the United States, there were 2 scouts who had made Eagle Scouts who decided to come out. Because up until that point, scouting had an anti-gay policy. And these 2 exemplary scouts who had made Eagle Scouts decided to come out, and they were drummed out of their troop. And it became a national rallying point. And when the Boy Scouts of America at that time released a statement saying all are welcome, that's when the local church kicked the troop out of their church.
Wow, religion's a problem? Who knew? Who knew? You heard it here first, folks. But before we're full of hot topics today, and there has been one hot topic that has been raging across TikTok. If you've been around, you would be familiar with the question: man or bear? Now, man or bear has taken over TikTok. I think the reaction to this question has been very telling of where we are as a society at the moment, and that people are more than willing to have their own opinion when the point of the conversation, and this is United Nations data, almost 89,000 women and girls were intentionally killed worldwide in 2022. UN data also shows that 1 in 3 women across the world have experienced intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence, categories that include domestic violence and rape. The conversation isn't about...
I have the American statistics.
Yeah.
Since January 1st.
Yeah. The conversation isn't about men are evil.
But the men that are evil are allowed to be evil in our society.
Exactly.
They have multiple
victims. That's the conversation. Instead of men go, I am a victim because you've compared me to a wild animal.
Right. Yes.
Why? Think why.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yes, because you're willing to believe that you're a victim rather than believe that some of the men are rapists. That's
child
the problem.
abusers, spousal abusers.
Yeah.
Because you see it. You do see it.
Yeah.
You do see it. But he's a good man.
But he's got a promising career. But he comes from a good family. He says he'll never do this again. Their marriage has been a problem from the beginning. She's just as guilty. It takes 2 to make a marriage. She's just as guilty. What was she wearing? Did she like it? Come on.
Yeah. I think we have to, and this whole day today has been about, people's personal opinions on current events, and this is the whole point of the show. Mm-hmm. But I think what we're figuring out with stuff like this is you have to be able to remove yourself and your personal feelings from a story, from a topic, to be able to look at what someone's really saying. You know what I mean? What is
That's
that
been the problem
conversation
all
really
along.
about?
That's the problem all along. Is yes, not all men rape. Yes, there are lots of good men in this world, but as long as those good men shut up and don't speak out, then there's always going to be women afraid to go in the woods, more afraid of the man than the bear.
There's
In
also
this
that
country, the statistic: 22,000 women have been the victim of sexual assault or rape in this country since January 1st. In the last year, the last calendar, that's since January 1st. That's 5 months, right? In the last year, 5 women have been killed by bears.
Yeah.
You can
We've
take
gotta-
your chances with the bear.
as Jeff
Yeah.
as Jeff always says, everything comes down to mental health and us understanding human nature and experience. There is a reason why that women are feeling this way about men. There's a reason that women are feeling this way about men.
There's a story that I heard this week during this spate of discussion about this topic. And this guy who I know, who's a wonderful, wonderful guy, told a story how when he was in high school, he was at a party and 2 brothers took a woman upstairs, a young woman upstairs, and raped her. Everybody at the party knew. And he's felt bad about it for years. And until men start speaking up, until we raise our sons to say, fuck no, this isn't okay. She didn't go up there of her own free will. Then every guy at that party is just as guilty. And I know this is a good guy who wouldn't hurt somebody, but he allowed somebody to be hurt while he was there.
Right.
It's not an easy conversation and it's not an easy fix. That's the problem. People want
It
the easy
is. Don't be a
fix.
fucking asshole and creeper.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
stand up.
douchebag.
But this is
up.
generation upon generations of learning. You know what I mean? Learning from past generations that this is an acceptable
douchebags.
behavior. That this is, you won't get caught because you've got a certain amount of money. You won't get caught because you're white. You won't get caught. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That you
it
value
does segue
someone.
nicely into my vent.
That you value someone. Yeah, we'll get there. That you value someone, no matter if their gender. You value someone less than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole, in general, without taking any power away from this conversation about man or bear. In general, we all just need to be nicer to each other and to try and understand each other for a world to move forward and not repeat. Like, I feel like we're going backwards.
Well,
We're
you
going
know what? I
backwards
gotta
into
say,
these.
having been assaulted recently,
There
there are people that don't deserve you to be nice.
Yeah.
There are people that deserve to be assaulted back.
I know, but that not perpetrating the crime again?
I've been the better person. I've stepped away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times.
You should have whooped her ass.
Which is why there's no easy answer. You know what I mean?
I don't feel good about what happened to me at all, but I feel better that I stood up for myself.
Definitely.
Definitely.
And we always appreciate your voice, because without Vera feeling feisty, there would be no Vera, man. Okay, folks, here we go. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon, but now it's time for our V to get all fired up. 3, 2, 1. And...
Well, I was already a little bit steamy because, the bear thing has been on our minds for this last couple of weeks, and I'm Team Bear. I'm sorry, guys. I'm Team Bear. But it's also on my mind today, not just because of this show, but because today in the hush money trial of Donald Trump in New York City, Stormy Daniels was cross-examined by the Trump defense team. And as you probably suspected or could have imagined, It was all about Stormy's job. It was all about how this woman makes a living. It was all about, well, of course you are unreliable because you're a slut, you're a porn star. You can't possibly tell us that this is shocking to you or that this was appalling to you. Let's stop there, guys. This went on for 7 hours. This woman was grilled in this vein and slut-shamed by the Trump defense team. And it's not that nobody thought that that was the way it was going to be, but this is sensationalized for the general public to inform your opinion. It has nothing to do with the crux of this matter. This amount of slut-shaming and female questioning has been around forever. You know, what was she wearing? Was she a virgin at the time? Doesn't matter. Trump is not on trial for sleeping with Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels is not on trial for sleeping with Trump. The problem is that this man used campaign finances to pay her off. That's the crime. It's not the act of sex. The reason Stormy Daniels has to testify is because his defense said it never happened. So they wanted her to tell her story, not because she was a porn star, not because she committed a crime, because he said it didn't happen, in spite of evidence to the contrary, in spite of photographic evidence of them together, you know, in spite of corroborating testimony from other people. But today, she was on trial. She was vilified. She was made out to be the bad person because she works in the sex industry. Well, isn't slut shaming just part of that Republican game still? Yeah, we picked the fucking bear. She's not the criminal here. The crime isn't the act of sex. The crime was the payoff and the hush money. Get it straight. Figure it out.
There we go. Oh, beautiful. As always, a lovely way to finish the show. But just the two of us, Vera. It's nice.
I know. We should sing a show tune.
But Vera and I are going to get together very, very soon because we're going to do an assigned seating, and I am so excited to hear Vera's thoughts because I picked a movie that is a classic that I thought for sure Vera would have seen. She hadn't seen it, and I have to know how she feels about.
Oh, I have watched it now.
The whole Mishigosh, and it is definitely a ride.
I do have a few feelings.
I know it's definitely a ride. So we hope that you join us for an assigned seating that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. There will be some uncensored horror in your future too. If you haven't checked out the first part of our 4-part series on the adaptations of Stephen King's It is there. We're going to get together and hopefully record the second part this week. So there's movie stuff coming. There's some interviews percolating in the background that are coming this week. It's all very, very excited. But again, we're going to do the call to arms because people are listening. If you're out there listening, thank you. Please continue to listen. But the best thing you can do on whatever apps that you're listening to us, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Blog Talk Radio, TuneIn, or whatever, if you could leave us a review or leave us some stars, that gives us some visibility, which means more people get to join the Uncensored family. And we really want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your opinion. So no matter when you're watching this, leave us a comment. Leave us what you think's going on because our show is only as strong as you are. We have our opinions. We want to hear yours because that's how the conversation continues.
Mm-hmm.
And a chat, in case you can't tell. We love to talk. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Vera. Thank you, the Dearly Departed Jeffrey. I've been Steve, and this has been UCR Live. We'll see you again next week, folks. Bye.
Bye.
And thank you for hanging in there, Twitter. You guys have been there the whole show, or X. Sorry. I'm going to go see if you've left any comments because they're not showing up in the live stream comments. So thank you, X viewers. We see you. I want you to know I see you. Love. Well,
Bye.
it won't end.